What is up, Screen Watcher Nation? It is the Screen Watcher here for another movie review. I got out to the cinema today to go and see the Happytime Murders, but before I jump into that, please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Always helping me out. I appreciate it. The Facebook channel is getting really close to 800 followers, and I love each and every one of you, even though we have not met, but I appreciate each and every one of you. So let's jump on into the review, shall we? Starting with the cast. I'll start with the live action cast, headed by Melissa McCarthy. You would know her most recently from her work probably in The Heat. She's in a ton of other movies as well. She's been one of my favorite actresses out there. She's kind of plays similar roles in a lot of the movies, but very funny. You also have Elizabeth Banks. You would know her from the Hunger Games trilogy. You would also know her from the Pitch Perfect trilogy as well. You have Maya Rudolph, that you would know from SNL, as well as the movie Bridesmaids. You have Leslie David Baker, who you would know from The Office. He played Stanley. And then you would have Joel McHale. You would know him from the show Community, or when he plays himself in the talk show The Soup, or in the Joel McHale Show. You also have a ton of voice actors who are playing the puppets in this movie. That is one of the big draws of this movie. You have Bill Beretta. He does tons of the different voice actors in this movie, or a ton of the different roles in this movie. You have Colleen Smith, also a ton of different roles, and Kevin Clash. Again, several different characters in the roles, so I wanted to mention those three specifically. Too many others to name, but Bill Beretta you would know from several of the different Muppet movies. Most recently the two ones that were released into theaters, but also the old school ones from like Muppet Treasure Island and things like that. He did several voice roles in that movie. Colleen Smith you would know from That Puppet Game Show. And then Kevin Clash you would know from Sesame Street. He's been doing it for a very long time, all the way, I believe, since the 80s, all the way through now. So very well-known voice actor. So that is the crew who worked on this movie. Now, getting into my review of the movie itself, starting with the trailer. There were a couple of different trailers, one of which said, "This is all that we can show you on television because everything else is just so crazy and out there that we can't even put it on regular television." And there was a lot of crazy stuff in the movie, and there was a lot of very funny stuff. There was a lot of crude and rude humor. There was a lot of Muppet on Muppet action and things of that nature. There was a lot of drug use. There was a lot of things going on that you wouldn't see on Sesame Street, or the normal things that you've seen puppets on before. That being said, I think the trailers posted you up for a very different style of movie than what the movie actually was. It was much more of a cop movie with some crazy, zany Muppet things going on than an insane, crazy, funny comedy that happens to involve cops and Muppets. Which I went into it thinking of it being more along the lines of, different movies of kind of like mixing The Heat, where especially with Melissa McCarthy being in the movie, and then Sausage Fest, which was an animated movie where you have cartoons doing gross, disgusting things, where it's food being disgusting and kind of clashing those two worlds together. I think they tried to do both things and be a cop movie and a crazy Muppet movie and do them both equally. And I think they needed to do one or the other, because when I left the theater, I kind of felt that they didn't do too good of a job of doing either, which means they kind of failed at both, if you think about it. there were obviously some very funny moments, and there were obviously some pretty good action sequences, which is ridiculous to say. And when I went into this movie, I wasn't thinking I was going to be seeing that. But it, I think it fell short on a lot of the expectations that the previews gave me. So I wasn't excited leaving the theater. I don't think I'm going to be buying this, even though you see how full my DVD and Blu-ray collection is. I may do a red box and pizza and adult beverage night with it, because maybe it would be more enjoyable doing that. But again, since they didn't go so far into the ridiculous with it, like Sausage Fest did, with the food humor. That movie at least was so gross and so over the top and so ridiculous that you can kind of just turn your brain off, have an adult beverage, and laugh with your friends. This being such a cop movie, you kind of have to feel bad for some people sometimes, and you kind of have to follow the plot for parts of the movie. And that's not what I wanted to do going into a movie when the trailer says, we can't show you so much of this movie because it's so ridiculous. They set up the wrong expectations, for me at the very least. So that's my review of the Happytime Murders. Again, not one that I would suggest going to see unless you're into that type of thing. Again, it is a pretty decent cop movie. It does have some funny moments. It does have some ridiculous stuff going on with puppets. So if you're into puppets, this is a judgment-free zone here in the Screen Watcher Nation, so I'm not going to judge you. That's for the Lord to do, I guess. Do your thing, whatever makes you happy. That's my review. Leave your comments down below if you've seen the Happytime Murders. So what would you like for me to review next? Unfortunately, I've had pretty solid migraines for the last 5 days, so I haven't gotten to see anything else other than watch movies at home, so I'll probably throw a review or two from the past out there during the week here. But other than that, again, please like and comment, subscribe to the channel, do whatever you can for me, because I'm trying to do the best I can for you every single day. Hopefully your popcorn was always fresh, and hopefully you enjoy your day at the cinema, be it at home or out at your local theater. Bye, guys.